Hey everyone, I'm Clue. So we're here back on my command block hub world, but unfortunately back on 1.19.3 or whatever it's up to now. So 1.20 has really kind of put a damper on my world here. I've had to rework a few things, and one of the major things I've gone ahead and reworked is my attribute system. So, these should be here. So I've actually come up with a way to customize the attributes on armor and equipment, and in line with their whole new ability to trim and customize all the early game gear, I thought it would be more beneficial to sort of branch out the way armor progresses. So we've got 4 different blocks here: fletching table, waxed cut copper, polished basalt, and a reinforced deep slate block, which you actually can't get in-game just yet. There are a few ways on this map to get it. And then we have this giant chest, and I'm sure it's really confusing to look at, so let's break it down. So we have our block here, wax cut copper, and then a few different items, and these are what you use to actually modify the attributes on gear. So under the copper we have chain mail and iron, so you can drop any of these items with a corresponding piece onto the block, so the wax cut copper, and it will modify the attributes of that gear. So for instance, if I take out the chainmail boots, we'll make duplicates just so I can keep this nice and neat, and some raw iron. We can go ahead, come over to our wax cut copper, drop the boots, drop the raw iron, we hear the tinker sound, and now we have some chainmail boots with 5% knockback resistance, 2 armor, and 3 luck. If I go ahead and do the same with the iron boots, we now have iron boots with 5% knockback, 3 armor, and 3 luck. So a bit more armor, but a bit less luck. But they both have the 5% knockback. So the way to sum it up is this row will always affect knockback, this row will always affect whichever modifier, and they will always be the same percentages on the gear, depending on the brackets. So the best way to probably go through it is to grab out diamond boots, gold boots, and some leather boots, and netherite boots. Boots. Grab them, and I need the right material. So for diamond and gold, it's netherite scraps. For netherite, it is netherite ingots. And then for leather, it is bones. So if I go ahead, drop the boots on the corresponding block, so obviously leather, fletching table, boots, tinker sound, netherite, reinforced deep slates, gold and diamond is the polished basalt. Gotta grab them. Oh, I think it got, yeah. So I timed it perfectly, so that's why it sort of went a bit funny there. We didn't get the sound effect trigger. A little bit of, well, not glitchiness, but if you frame perfect some things, they obviously trigger certain ways. Anyway, so we affected knockback on all of them, but we can see there's some sort of scale going on. So for instance, the diamond and gold have 10%, netherites have a massive 20%, and then both the chainmail, iron, and leather only have 5%. So essentially, depending on which material or which tier, there will be benefits to certain attributes. So in this case, knockback resistance, the more durable the gear, the higher the bonus you're getting. So netherite being the most durable, you get a 20% bonus versus 10% on diamond and gold because they're the middle tier metals, and then chain and iron is 5 and leather is 5 as well. And this goes for all the different attributes here. So I believe this is speed. So if we take out ender pearls, membrane, elytra, 2 slots, and feather, and then take out the corresponding gear, we'll do legs this time. So chainmail, iron, diamond, gold, netherite, and leather are not there because I did not have enough space, but I can go ahead and do it here. Ooh, what are leather legs called? Don't tell me they're pants. No, they are named differently, but thankfully the NBD data is the same. I was fearful for a moment that I'd have to go and redo my whole system. But yeah, so same thing, wax cut copper. Ooh, we got the bonus? No, but we heard tinker. There we go. So again, because we were frame perfect on the drop. Perfect. So 10%, 10%. What about gold and diamond? We have 5%. And if you can probably guess, netherite being one of the heavier metals is going to be the same, 5%. So it's the slowest, and that leaves leather this time around to be the greatest improvement to speed. So if we line them up again, we can sort of see that there is this ordering to it. And essentially, the scales are going to continuously swap, meaning that depending on what type of playstyle you're going for, you can use different gears to achieve that. So if you want to be tanky, for instance, netherite is probably what you're going to end up with. So for instance, you could have knockback armor all on netherite gear. It's going to be the least, so it's going to be the most powerful for those stats, but it's going to have the least amount of speed or attack speed or HP. And that way there's this balance to the system that actually allows you to pick and choose which type of gear you want to use depending on, again, that playstyle. If you want to be speedy, well, leather's probably your better bet, but you're reducing the amount of armor you have in that case. So we'll look at one more stat, if I can remember. I'm pretty sure it's Amethyst Shard is going to be attack damage. So we'll do chest plates this time, and then nether quartz, do chest plates, trident, so netherite is definitely the most costly. Chest plates, right? It's not top or something, perfect. And then leather, spider eye, and we also need the leather chest plates. And I can go ahead and do it like this. Perfect. Ah. No. Okay. Annoyance aside. Ooh. That's wrong, yeah. There we are. Annoyance aside. Leather. So we can see it's got 10% attack. Where is this going to fit? Well, it's probably going to go somewhere in the middle, because again, I do want to have every armor set well balanced in accordance to everything else. So netherite and the trident. Again, netherite's meant to be the tanky, so it's only 5%, so it's probably going to be on the lower side of the end. Diamond. I think that already got it, because it ate it up straight away. Ooh. Okay. What's going on there? I probably got caught out. See how it has golden? For whatever reason, I always label them as gold. Nope, turns out it was a different nomenclature that got me. Nether quartz is just quartz. So this whole line I need to fix up. I need to find every instance of nether quartz and delete the nether segments. Unfortunately, I think it's one on this, right? Yeah, I can only, nope, it's twice. I think it's twice on both, correct? I'll just do one with you guys, and then I will fix them all, and we'll go back to showing off the gear. So that's one. Is there one more? There should be one more, right? Execute at golden helmets. I see on here, golden helmets, quartz, modify golden. Okay, so it's 2, then 1. Anyway, I'm going to fix them up, and then we'll go back to showcase. Right, much better. Perfect. So, gold, 10%, 10%, 10%. I think chainmail is actually going to be the best this time around. And iron. Perfect. What do we have? 20%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Okay, so you can see how they're branching apart. So, movement speed and health, I think, or survivability, more passive or utility effects, leather or the lighter gear, attack damage, in the middle, the iron chain, sort of diamond and gold is still a bit better than netherite, and then tankiness is netherite. And for all the attributes, there's this thought or process of all the attributes branching out. And I do have a table, we'll probably include that right there. Yeah, that'll do. So you can see. So the same actually goes for weapons as well. Depending on which materials or which block you sort of polish them on, they're going to have different stats. And I think tridents are probably the easiest way to show it off. So we'll just do knockback resistance on all of them, and we can sort of see how they branch apart in the different tiers. So on deep slates, should be the netherite ingots, we get trident, 13 attack, 2.9% speed. So speed is a bit funny. These are all inverse values. So for instance, this wooden axe right now has 3.2 speed. So it should be slower than the trident. So you can see it recharging. Trident's still pretty slow, but it is quicker than that axe, just for some perspective on what the negative values mean. If we try polished salts with the scraps, Perfect. We get a slightly weaker but slightly faster trident. And similarly, if we continue down the chain, we now have 4 different tridents with 4 different values. So on the fletching table, we've got the quickest trident, but it only does 6 damage. So it's actually weaker than a base trident. On the iron, it does 8 damage, slightly weaker, but again, it's quicker than a base trident. So in inverse, it's 4 minus whatever the value is there. So that's what, 2.9. So it's about double the speed of a normal trident. Then of course we have our slightly higher damage, but same speed as the normal trident. And then we have our max damage, but slowest trident. The same goes for the different tools. So for instance, if I were to buff, what's a good one to show off? Let's do axes. So gold axe, we'll just do 1 of each material. Actually, I don't think there's one for the fletching table. Still, we'll do 1 of each material. I don't need the bones anymore. So if we do our netherite axe with our netherite ingots, our iron axe with our, oh, that's the wrong one. Our diamond axe with, it's very confusing. I need to write them all down. Diamond with netherite. I think that, did I do scraps? I can't remember. This one's iron and iron. Okay, perfect. And then lastly, gold with the netherite scraps. Okay, so we've got our 3 axes. Iron, 11 damage, 2.4 speed. So it's decently quick. Netherite axe, 13, but a bit slower. Diamond actually goes in between, 2.6 instead of 2.8, but in between damage as well. And then gold, 14 damage, so higher than that trident, but now it's -3. So again, it's fairly slow, but a very heavy hitter. It's, what? It's 3 damage more than the iron axe for a slight decrease in speed. And that's sort of the balancing mentality I've tried to use across all items, and I have done them all quite annoyingly. Even shields, I think shields are another one that you can do universally across all of the different modifier anvils. I don't know what to refer to them. I wish there was, you know, more anvil types. Yeah, so iron shield, you gain those stats, and it's different across all. There's a lot to play around with here. I mean, you know, you take the armor tabs, weapon tabs, and then you look at all the different materials. What is that? It's 7 attributes per items times however many items, and then things like tridents, shields, bows, and crossbows can be utilized on all the different smithing tables, smithing blocks, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, I think it's a neat little take on how to actually utilize the attribute system here in Minecraft, and, you know, balance everything. Rather than it competing, obviously netherite is still strongest. You know, loosely, armor is definitely going to be the toughest armor, but it's not the best armor for a certain attribute. You know, if you want speed, leather, it's the lightest. You want attack damage and flexibility, chainmail. And gold, heaviest, so I think heaviest, this gold has the highest health, I think, because it's enchantable and all that, it's moldable. You know, the whole, the alchemist thing, where not only was it turn X into gold, but it was, you know, live forever type shtick. And then netherite, of course, is the best toughness, and diamond is the best armor. So I'm trying to make each sort of group excel in something and make them a little bit worthwhile, at least experimenting with. Anyway, we'll leave that there. Way too much for me to show off. There is obviously some stuff I need to figure out. That is another reason why I do these types of videos, is as much as it is I want to show these features off, it is me testing and making sure everything works as it should. There is some slight bugs with the tridents. So tridents, I do have here, they're utilized. I thought of using them. The netherite tier is definitely the rarest items. I probably want to take the elytra and the trident out of it, just because obviously you can buff the elytra. That's another thing, you can buff the elytra. It's the same tier as netherite, same with the turtle helmets. And I think it's geared around movement speed, not so much armor. But if I were to drop 2 tridents here on the polished basalt, yeah, it just sort of bugs out. I think they both get the stats increase and doesn't know which one to delete. So that's something I will have to tweak. You know, I'll probably remove them from the usable pool and then just substitute them with a different type of item that's probably hard to get. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.